Hello, my name is Helen, and I want to take you through what, in my opinion, is the most relaxing yin yoga class. So, we went to a yin class recently, and I just found actually there's a lot of the poses that people were really struggling with holding and staying in. And these are ones that are mostly just, pretty much all on the ground. There's nothing having to support yourself. If you're wanting to get a little bit of benefit from, opening hips, stretching out your body, getting the nervous system to relax and unwind, this is perfect, and it's not strenuous at all. You just need a yoga mat. I recommend putting on a playlist, like on Spotify or something, a yin yoga playlist, something really nice, chilled, relaxing music. Maybe add some candles, maybe have some layers like jumpers, maybe have cushions, a throw, or something near you to stay really comfortable. We're going to start lying down on our backs. So any way that's comfortable for you. So that might be that it is lying with your feet on the floor, the knees together, maybe resting your hand on your stomach, maybe your hands out by your sides, over your head, maybe legs extended, maybe you prefer to lie on your side or your front. Be in a position that feels really comfortable for you. You may notice there's no timers or anything in today's workout. I'll be in control of the time, and the idea is that you just enjoy the passing of time. You know that you've allowed these 45 minutes to just really relax and unwind. So no need to be kind of counting down or looking at anything at all. If you've never done yin yoga before, yin yoga is where we tend to hold poses for a long amount of time. They're not strength poses, they're stretching postures. And we hold in a position that means you feel a bit of a stretch happening, but it should never feel painful. If you ever feel painful, you can come straight back to something like Shavasana, like this, lying down on your back, lying down on your belly. You can come out earlier if you ever need to. And it's about just adjusting yourself to make sure you're not in a position of pain. And then we're trying to see how much of the body we can relax. Shavasana is also known as corpse pose. So it's almost like we're trying to find ourselves in a position where we're a dead weight. So just start to scan your body from your head down to your toes. Seeing if there's any areas that you can relax, soften, let go of, take some tension out of. And just like with anything else, like strength, balance, flexibility, cardio, it all comes with practice. So you might find you struggle with relaxing and letting go to start with, but the more you practice, the more you should find yourself able to release. And as you breathe in, just notice your whole body on the floor. As you breathe out, try and relax your whole body down into the ground. And do that again. And scanning your body from your head down to your toes to just notice if there's any areas where you might be locking out. Around your fingers, your joints around the elbows and knees. Even softening the features in your face, smoothing around the forehead, noticing if you're frowning, softening around your eyes, your cheeks and your jaw. You can complete this entire class with your eyes closed or not if that makes you feel uncomfortable. But if eyes are ever open, then I just recommend softening your eye gaze so you're not really focusing at any point. Have you already noticed some difference in maybe your breathing rate, in your body, in your mind, from just having been still and down on the ground for a few minutes? Just be really aware of how you feel so we can compare at the end of the class. And our first pose, we're going to start with banana pose. So wherever you are, stretching legs long, stretch your arms over your head. Keeping your hips down, walk your feet over to the left and your hands over to the left. So it's like you're creating a banana shape with your body, a C shape. It should be a really gentle stretch down the right side of your body. Stretching around the shoulder joint, around the chest, into the lats, the side of the ribs, side of your waist, into the side of the hip, all the way down the side of the leg. Where you're in control of how far you move. So if you wanted to make this stretch deeper, you move your hands and feet further across. If you wanted less, reduce the C shape in your body. So each time we come into a new pose, you want to find that point that feels good. And once you're there, see where you can relax. And softening around the fingers, the wrists, the elbow joints. Around the neck and shoulders. Again, the features of your face. And the muscles around the ribs. All going into the side of the waist and the side of the hip. If you do want to increase a little bit, you can cross your right ankle over your left and maybe gently take hold of your right wrist. We'll gradually start to work with more and more silence. Obviously, I can't guarantee that your device hasn't lost battery or frozen, but try not to worry if you notice you don't hear me talking for a long time. Remember, each pose can be about 5 minutes. But if you find your mind becomes really active, once you've slowed down the amount of activity that you're doing, firstly just use your breath, as an anchor. Notice how long it takes you to breathe in and out. And maybe count how many cycles of breaths you do to keep yourself in the present moment. Or again, just working on that, scanning the body, using your out breath to try and relax, soften. So you breathe in. If you've hooked the ankle, unhook. Just come back through the middle. Keep your arms over your head, or maybe bring them down, rest on the belly. You keep the legs long, or it might feel good to hug your knees in towards your chest and gently give your knees a squeeze. Between each pose, we have a counter pose or a moment to just pause and notice if we feel any sensations from that previous shape before we move on. There's never a rush between poses, pauses. Just making sure we feel like we've got time. We're not always having to rush around. When you do feel you're ready, lengthen out long again on the floor. And then move your feet over to the right hand side, your arms and hands over to the right hand side, and feel the stretch down the left side of the body. Adjusting as you need. Get up to about halfway if you wanted to cross your left ankle over the right. I'm not pulling or forcing the stretch. Just using the time to notice if you feel any differences between your right and your left side. Just take a few more breaths in. And maybe bringing some awareness to what happens to your breath. Does it become longer and deeper? Shorter or more shallow? Next time you breathe in, start to make your way back through the middle again. Restacking the spine, and maybe bring your hands by your sides, maybe hugging your knees in towards your body. And next pose, if you've got things like cushions or pillows nearby, you might want to use them. It's coming to a bit of a hip opener, and if it finds that it opens your hips too much, so we're just using gravity, we're not being active in our stretches. So if it's pulls too much, you have the option to add some pillows or cushioning on the side of the legs, or come out of the pose earlier and maybe just come into this bent leg position with knees together. But another extended butterfly, bring the soles of your feet together. Allow the knees to just fall out to the side. So this is the hip opener, and again, just the weight of your legs. So we're not actively trying to press the knees down or away. Just allowing gravity to take the knees to the side. If gravity just does a bit too much, add some pillows or cushions underneath your knees. Your hand position, if you feel you're putting kind of a little bit of grounding today, you can relax your hands on your stomach. Or you can spread your arms wide, maybe cactus arms about elbows. Maybe stretch overhead again, maybe cupping both the elbows. Gives you a little bit of a chest opener as well. So again, using the first moment to get into the pose, get into the shape. Make sure you've got the right feeling, never finding pain. Just gentle stretching, gentle opening. Anytime we do a hip opener a bit like this, one thing to check about whether or not you've tensed up is your jaw. Some people find their teeth are then clenched together. So just allow them to soften and separate. Your jaw and your hips and pelvic floors are very much connected. So that's why, again, you might feel when you're stretching one, you kind of tense the other and vice versa. You can't repeat enough. Please take ownership of this. So if it doesn't start to feel good in your body, it starts to feel like it's gone too far, again, using cushioning to pad up and support your knees, or come out of the pose a little bit earlier. How do you find the silence? How do you find stillness? Resisting the urge to move or fidget. And the next time you breathe in, bring your hands to your thighs and use your hands to help close your knees. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips and just allow your knees to gently sway from side to side. And then next time your knees are on one side, land them and just roll over onto your side. Over to the fetal position. Have a little pause here. Before you then roll all the way over onto your belly. So you might want a cushion or something underneath your head. With half frog pose. So bring your right knee up and out to the side. The higher up it is, the deeper the stretch. So if you want less, keep the knee further down. If you want more, a little bit higher, but again, it should feel like quite a gentle stretch. And your head, you can be face down, or you can relax your ear to your hands or your pillow or cushion. This is another hip opener. You'll feel it in the inner thighs going into the hips, so check your jaw again. Just take your final few breaths on this side. Next time you breathe in, slowly extend the leg back. Take both knees wider than hips, and you can just stay. Or again, you can just bend your knees and gently drop the feet side to side. And obviously what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. The other side will be our final pose before our final resting Shavasana. So gradually find stillness with the legs. And when you're ready, bend the left knee, bring it up and out to the side. If your head was looking one way, lift it and turn it to face the other way as well. Just so we're not wonky. You know what to do with your leg, higher or lower as needed. Allowing yourself to move at the first point to get to that point where you want to then stay and hold. Taking a couple more breaths here. And again, very gradually, very softly coming out of the pose, keeping your knees wide, bend your knees, allow your knees to rock gently side to side. And then we finished how we started in Shavasana. It is up to you. If you're more comfortable lying on your belly, you can stay here. You can roll over onto your sides. You can roll over onto your back. Take a moment to just get the extra bits of movement in. Take time to settle into a pose that you feel most relaxing. Sometimes it's putting pillows or cushions under a knee, maybe under your head, maybe on a jumper or a blanket. And when you're ready, got a long time in Shavasana. Just simply do nothing at all. To breathe in any way that feels most natural to you. You can repeat again doing the full body scan. You can perhaps draw some comparisons to how you feel now compared to the start. Maybe you're listening to the sound of silence or the sound of the playlist. Maybe just the sound of your own breath. Maybe you struggle with stillness and quiet, but what you know you are achieving is having time down on the ground, which means the heart rate falls. When your heart rate falls, your breathing rate changes. It can help create a sense of calm in the body, of relaxation and restoration. And just knowing that for yourself, you're taking time away to do something that's nourishing for the body, that balances out the stresses of day-to-day life with rest, stillness, and so allows your nervous system to come closer to digestion, and just allows yourself this time to unwind. So just enjoy these next few minutes of stillness and quiet. that you do feel ready to move again. And you can stay here longer if you like. But just start really, really small, really gradually. Just give a slight wiggle of your fingers and toes. Maybe gently move your head a little bit side to side. And slowly bring your knees in a little bit closer to your body. And I always like to add just another moment of pause and stillness. Just roll over onto your left hand side. You can come into the fetal position. Maybe supporting your head with your hands. Again, eyes can stay closed. Soft eye gaze. And then whenever you do feel ready, you can use your hand to help push yourself up gradually into a seated position. And then come to sit anywhere that's comfortable. Maybe that's cross-legged, maybe legs in front. Maybe sitting on something like your pillows or cushions to help become a little bit more comfortable in the hips. And again, I would say just adding another final pause. So knowing we don't always have to rush to get on to the next thing, we can pause, we can have more moments of stillness. So maybe closing down eyes if they're not already. Taking a final breath in, seeing where you can soften as you exhale. And again, noticing how you feel now compared to at the start. And when you're ready, slowly blink your eyes open. And you're done. Well done. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed and found it really relaxing. Any questions, drop me a message.